watching Now You See TV, and this is a dream described by Mark Rogers, who we will have on later tonight to discuss in further detail. This is a dream of a false rapture that he believes will occur, and many have speculated in past times that this will in fact be reality.
I'd already slept for about 6 hours. I woke up. Normally at that point I would have just gotten up for the day or put on a video. I laid back down just to say, hey, I'm just gonna have some God time, me and alone meditation. There's no way I'm getting back to sleep at this point. And as soon as I laid down, immediately I was gone. And in the vision here, I was asleep, and all of a sudden intense flashes changed the entire sky. I mean, the heavens rolled back like a scroll. Couldn't even describe it. It changed it from flashes of pink to blue to black. There was a vision of a castle that kept appearing. There were pictures of Hebrew letters and scriptures flying through the air. There were a bunch of spears that kept sticking up out of the ground, and it kept flashing back and forth. Like 1 second it would be pink with demons, 1 second it would be blue with the castle, 1 second it would be black with the spears, 1 second it would be bright intense light with the Hebrew, and one would be like a dark grayish ugly with a bunch of dragons everywhere. That's how I started in my dream, asleep. I woke up to see if this was really happening, and all of a sudden I was inside. I ran to the window. Everybody was looking outside, and everybody was watching outside the same thing that I was dreaming of in my dream. We all knew it was happening. Like when you talk about every eye shall see, yeah, there was no mistaking what was going on. There were a bunch of machines coming down and a bunch of vortexes in the sky. We were all watching all of this stuff. There were just intense, crazy, different types of machines, all different types. At first they were all machines, okay? Didn't look like demons. I had seen dragons being released, but the things that came down were machines. They wanted to interact with us, is all that I can describe. That's the word I'm given for it. They wanted to interact with us. I screamed, "This is it." And this is the first time I grabbed my Bible in the vision, because I grabbed my Bible 3 times specifically in the vision. I'll get to more to that later. This is it. I ran upstairs. My best friend and my boss were there. And I said, this is it. You guys, this is the last minute. You better get on your knees and pray right now. You have no time left. This is it. This is happening. Ran down with my family to join my family, and we were all celebrating. We were all worshiping the thing to come, and we were just triumphant. Like, this is it. Wow, great. Yes. Praise God. The first trumpet blew, and man, when it blew, it shook the entire earth. All of it. Everywhere. You knew it. You bowed down. You felt it. You went to your knees. And then you jumped up for joy and you screamed, great, this is it. He's coming. I ran back downstairs to get dressed. Yes, mundane things. I thought I may still have to go to work today, and so I went downstairs to get dressed. When I went downstairs to get dressed, I had to choose my Bible, and there were 2 Bibles on the stand. One of them was my Bible that I carry with me. It was my father's. It was handed down to me through my grandmother. That's the one I know and recognize and use. The other one, I knew it was a false Bible, but it was identical to the copy that I had. I had to look through them and find out which one had my father's notes in it to make sure I had the correct Bible, and grabbed it. I ran outside. On the way outside, there was an inner courtyard. That's where my boss and everybody were, and they were watching kind of inside this courtyard exactly what was happening outside. The same flashes. The sky was pink with demons. The sky was blue with a castle, black with the spears, white with the Hebrew, gray with the dragons. It was intense, and it was everywhere. And so it was happening here and there. And that was the first time that I saw people interacting with the machines. And everybody was interacting with the machines. And I ran outside. I couldn't find my car. And all the buildings were changing. The street was changing right in front of me. And you couldn't get into a wreck. Literally the thoughts of they shall seek death and death shall flee from them. You couldn't get hurt. Cars were dodging each other just miraculously. Nobody could get into a wreck. Spider-Man saved a falling car. Odd, but it definitely looked like Spider-Man, and I know Spider-Man doesn't fly, but he flew and he picked up a car out of the midair. The machines were completely saving us from getting in any harm or anything like that. I could partially fly, which is kind of like I can describe like low G, like Matrix, where you can jump 20 to 50 feet with one little leap. It was really weird. The machines were all different sizes, and the most important one was a TV cube. And they literally had like faces, like a front of a projection tube, and they came down one for each person. There was one for everybody. And these came down and they started to interact. They wanted interaction, and then they wanted so-called grave sacrifices. That's one of the particular terms I remember that they were wanting from us. Grave, like buried in the grave or a gravestone, sacrifices. Take that as what you will. And I ran from that. But the other machines were not threatening that way. I can't describe it, but there were all different kinds of machines. And again, like one for everybody, 10 for everybody. They began interacting, and I began interacting. And as soon as I began interacting with the machine, thinking I'm getting saved, I realized I could still feel pain. And if I can still feel pain, I've not been healed or resurrected or anything yet. And I ran. And I ran back inside to my Bible. That's the other time that I ran directly to the Bible, and I screamed, "I will wait for Jesus." That's when everything changed. There was a seal in the sky that was revealed, and it was a pentagram that was multicolored, kind of like a Masonic bumper sticker with the different colors on the triangle pentagram. With the goat horns and all these demonic symbols, and that was displayed entirely across the sky. You couldn't see it until I had screamed that. As soon as that happened, everybody was gone because they had all interacted with the machines, my entire family. I was left alone with two strangers, an older man that's bald, I don't know, and a younger boy. And that's odd because I knew everybody else that was in my dream. I had not interacted with any strangers. I knew my family was gone. They all interacted. The things that happened after that got really grotesque and intense, and we'll get into some details on that. But I knew interacting was wrong, and all of my friends and family were interacting. That's the only way I'll describe it for now. We couldn't escape, and we were running, and the buildings were changing, and that's all that I remember is we couldn't escape. And then at the very end, we were joined by one black woman who came with us, and she said, "At least you know what to look for."